What's up, guys? Today is Wednesday, May 27th, and this is math. We are working on reducing fractions or simplifying fractions down to their lowest terms. So basically turning a larger fraction into a smaller fraction. We're going to jump into how to do that, and then I have 6 problems for you guys. So please write down all 6 problems and show your work. Take a picture of it, attach it to an email, and send it to myself, Miss Mari, and Mr. Danny so that we can review your work. All right, so today is Wednesday, May the 27th, and it's a short week this week, so really these are the only problems that you guys have other than multiplying your fractions yesterday. Really pay attention to what's going on so that you have a strong understanding of how to simplify these fractions. If you have questions, please let us know. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into that video. All right, here we go. All right, guys, so let's quickly talk about simplifying fractions. The point of simplifying a fraction is to bring a fraction down to its lowest form, okay? And there's more than one way to do it. The way that I do is I find the lowest common factor, and then I divide the top and the bottom by that factor. All right. You can also go to mathantics.com under simplifying fractions, and he'll talk about how you can use factorization to figure out how to find the lowest common factor. There's more than one way. I'm going to use the latter method, but feel free to go to Mathantics to get a stronger understanding of what's going on. So guys, when we simplify fractions, what we're doing is reducing it down from a large fraction to a smaller fraction. So for example, we'll take a fraction that we know is 1/2. It's 9/18. The reason we know that 9/18 is 1/2 is because 9 is half of 18. But how can we prove it? We can put it into our ladder here. So we have our 9 and our 18. We're going to put it in our ladder. And the smallest factor that goes into 9 and 18 is 3. And the reason that that's an important factor is because it is a prime number. We want the smallest prime number that goes into both of our numerator and our denominator. So 3 then divides into 9 3 times, and 3 divides into 18 6 times. Okay, so once again, we're going to go to the next tier of our ladder and figure out that once again, 3 is the smallest prime number that goes into both 3 and 6. So 3 divides into 3 1 time, and 3 divides into 6 2 times. Now all of the numbers that we have along the outside are prime numbers, so we can do 2 steps to find out both the GCF and the LCM, okay? And for what we're doing today, we really only need the LCM. All right, so to get the GCF, you multiply all the numbers. So 3 times 3 is 9, times 1 is 9, times 2 is 18. So 18 is the largest number that both 18 and 9 can go into. And we can, in order to find our LCM, which is what we need for simplifying fractions, we're going to multiply 3 times 3, which gives us our LCM, our lowest common multiple, which is 9. So we're going to divide both sides, both the top and the bottom, by 9. Okay. Oops. Okay. 9 divided by 9 equals 1, and 18 divided by 9 equals 2. So 9/18 is the equivalent fraction of 1/2. So we've simplified it down to its smallest number using our LCM, okay? So let's do another one. A little bit of a larger number. So we're going to take 16/20. Okay, so we want to reduce this down. Now the cool thing about 16/20 that's different from the last problem that we just did is that it is they're both even numbers. So that, therefore, whenever they're both even, we know that our smallest prime number is going to be 2. So we're going to build our ladder here and put our 16 as well as our 20 in there. And we know that the smallest prime factor or prime number that can go into 16 and 20 is going to be 2 because both of these are even. So it's always 2. All right. So 2 divided by 16 equals 8. 2 divided by 20 equals 10. We build our ladder again. Once again, we have 2 even numbers in here, so we're going to keep 2 as our smallest prime number. 2 goes into 8 4 times, and 2 goes into 10 5 times, okay? So now we have We have our prime factorization all the way down. These are as small as we can get for these numbers. So for our GCF, we're going to take 2 times 2, which is 4. 4 times 4, which is 16, and 16 times 5, which is 80. So 80 is the smallest number, or the largest number, excuse me, that both 20 and 16 can go into. 16 goes into 85 times, 20 goes into 84 times. But we really need our LCM, okay? So to get our LCM, we're gonna take the two outside numbers, which is 2 times 2, which equals 4. All right, so we're gonna divide the top and the bottom by 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4, and 20 divided by 4 is 5. So therefore, 16/20 has a simplified factor, or a simplified fraction of 4/5. Okay, so we can use our LCM to turn big fractions into small fractions. All right, so if you have questions about that, you can ask Miss Mari, myself, or Mr. Danny. When you're doing your math this week, guys, please be sure to take a picture of it and send it to us via email so that we can take a look to make sure that you understand what's going on. All right, so here are your 6 problems for this week. All right, so go ahead and pause if you need to. Use your ladder method, and I want you to reduce all of these fractions down to their lowest forms. So this is called simplifying fractions. Again, I encourage you to go to Math Antics, Simplifying Fractions, to get additional support and help. But you'll see that his method is slightly different than mine, but ultimately you still get the least common multiple. He just does it by factoring, okay? So go ahead and get these problems written down, and we'll check in tomorrow for a couple of the answers. All right, thanks, guys.